guys, and welcome back to World War II Solitaire board game channel. This is gonna be my final video on Rattenkrieg, Assault on the Tracktor Factory. If you haven't watched my first two videos, the first one is an unboxing, the second one is a normal playthrough with the basic rules, I'd recommend you to go watch those two videos first, because this is my own advanced rules. So this isn't an official mode, these aren't official rules. These are fan-made advanced rules, which I've playtested quite a lot. I find them to increase the difficulty of beating the game. I think it adds some strategy, and I've uploaded it both in the forums of Boardgame Geek, on the game entry page, and in the files section. So go and check the rules out there for yourself. I am going to explain them quickly in this video though before we start playing. So we have our game set up here. As you know from the previous video, we're going to go ahead and draw some random Soviet counters and put in the areas with the red shields, and then we have 4 Soviet counters remaining. So how this differs. First of all, we have our first rule, German Grenadier Infantry. The infantry with the stick grenade icon starts on the depleted side instead of starting on the full strength side. So the Grenadiers are the strongest infantry units. They have 2 crosses, and we're going to go ahead and deplete them. So they both start on their depleted side. The second change we're going to have is we're actually going to roll for Soviet infiltration 2 times every turn instead of just once. So we're going to go ahead and do that because you'll do that before your German movement step. And for the first roll we get a 9, and we already have a Soviet counter in 9, so there's no placement there. Second roll, and we get a 9 again. So that rule didn't do much in the first turn. Then we have our third rule, and this is gonna happen once we run out of Soviet counters in the Soviet counter pool. Soviets have Katyusha rocket launchers. Those are the, you call them in Swedish Stalin orglar. They sound like, well, sending rockets all over. Horrible things. Anyway, Soviets have Katyusha rocket launchers, which they fire blindly in desperation. So this can actually be sometimes to your advantage. When a new turn starts with no Soviet counters left in the Soviet pool, instead of rolling for Soviet infiltration, you roll once, instead of twice, for Katyusha rocket launcher attack. So if the area hit, let's say we hit area number 2 with a tank in, you will do 1 damage to that tank. However, if the area hit is a Soviet, has a Soviet counter, you will flip that counter. So if it's a general, or a sniper or an ambush, they're gonna lose their advantage. So yeah, that's what it says. If the area hit contains German forces, do 1 damage to a unit of the player's choice in that area. If the area being hit contains Soviet forces, no damage is done. But if the Soviet counter is unrevealed with the red side down, flip it to the red side up. The fourth advanced rule is going to be the generals. So generals, if you have combat in a zone here with a general against a Soviet counter, and your infantry is taken out, the general is going to automatically retreat. But with this advanced rules, generals are automatically captured if they become the last surviving German unit in a contested territory. Instead of having to leave the contested area, they are removed from the game. Then we have advanced rule number 5, and those are concerning when you're calculating stars versus the crosses. And basically, if you have a tie, so 1 cross versus 1 star, you're gonna roll 2 Soviet dice and 2 German dice. But in this version, Germans need to have more crosses than stars in contested territory to roll 2 dice. If it's a tie, the Soviet will always roll 2 dice and the German 1 die instead of the normal rules where the German would roll 2 and the Soviet would roll 2. when the stars and crosses tie. If there is a German general in the battle group, this is cancelled and the German player will roll 2 dice and the Soviet ties, even if it's a tie like in the normal rules. But that's only if the generals are included in the battle group, making the generals a little bit more important to keep alive. And then we have the final and last advanced rules, which is actually to our advantage. There is no limit to the amount of airstrikes that you can use in one battle. You can use all 4 in one battle, giving you 4 extra battle dice. So in the standard game, you could only use 1 airstrike at a time. So that's why we have loaded up with a few more black dice for this game, because you could possibly in one battle roll 6 die if you have the advantage and then use 4 airstrikes. So that would be 6 dice. So that's it, guys. Those are the advanced rules for this game, which I have, again, created myself. So this is not in any way an official advanced rules. Okay, I'm gonna fix my camera a little bit and we'll get going. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and place out our units. And I am gonna go ahead and do the same tactic as I did in the last game in the normal mode, with my tanks down to the south, my Grenadier sticking with a general and infantry squad in those zones, and in that zone 1 normal infantry with a half track. Okay, we already rolled for the Soviet infiltration, so now we have our German movement. I'm going to go ahead and move with my 2 tanks over into this area. These guys are heading into that area. And I'm going to go ahead and split these guys up, trying to keep the Soviet infiltration down, and heading to this area to battle with this battle group. Okay, so let's reveal our Soviet counters. First one is an ambush. We're going to go ahead and do the damage to the normal infantry. So here we have a total of 3 crosses and only 1 star. So that means we do have the advantage. We are going to roll 2 dice and the Soviets will roll 1. And there is a tie, but luckily we have a general in our battle group, so the Soviet counter is taken out and our general is also promoted. So in this area we have also a counter to turn. Whoops. And it's a sniper, unfortunately for me, so my second general is assassinated. And then we have our Panzer battle group here. Let's reveal the counter, and it's a normal Soviet infantry squad with 1 star. The zone has 2 stars versus my 4 crosses. That means again I have the advantage in this battle. And I managed to take this guy out. So that's it for turn number 1. We go to turn number 2 now, and if you remember, we're going to do 2 Soviet infantry, Soviet infiltrations instead of 1. So the first one is number 5, and I believe number 5 is already occupied by, yep. So that's why I split up those 2 units. And then we do the second Soviet infiltration, which is number 7. And number 7, I believe, is also, where is it? Yeah, number 7 is occupied by a Soviet counter, so there's not going to be any counter there. So we have our German movement, and I think I'm going to seize the moment now. We only have 2 counters left to fight. I'm going to go ahead and try to take those guys out. So I am sending my tanks over here to that area, and let's see. I think I might have to rethink my strategy here. So this one could carry an infantry all the way here. No one remembers a coward. I'm going to move these tanks over here. Then the general and the half track are going to move down to this area. While my infantry, let's split them up in case we have some Soviet infiltration. if I don't manage to take these guys out. So we'll start with our tanks, flipping, and we have another sniper. So that's good. We only have one Soviet counter left, and it's an ambush, so my half track takes some damage. I only have 2 crosses, but the Soviets has 4 stars totally. So that means the Soviet player is going to use 2 dice versus my 1. However, I am going to go ahead and use every damn airstrike I have. That's 4 airstrikes. So I'm going to use 4 additional dice, because if I take this guy out, I have won the game. And look at that, we have a tie, but because I have a general, I win the tie, and I've successfully managed to win the game. So that's pretty cool, guys. Even though I added the rules, I managed to win. Okay, I think the game was quick enough, so I'm going to do it again. Give me 1 second to just set the game up again, and we'll go for another time. Alright guys, we're good to go again. We have placed our troops the same way as the first game, and our Soviet counters are placed. We have 4 Soviet counters in our pool. We start by rolling for Soviet infiltration, and remember guys, we roll 2 times. Number 3, and number 3 is occupied somewhere. That's location number 3, so no Soviet counter placement. Second infiltration, we have number 7, and number 7 is also occupied. Yeah, that's the main zone. So you see, you know, sometimes you're just very lucky with the Soviet infiltration, sometimes you aren't. Let's see, this guy went here. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and try to blitz them again. It's my favorite tactic, just, you know, doing the same thing we did last time. And we have a sniper. Oof. Takes out my general. We have an ambush, and that ambush is going to hit my infantry. Let's see, they have a total of 2 stars, 1 from the tank and 1 from the area. I have 3 crosses, so I have the advantage. And unfortunately, that wasn't enough. The Soviets, the tank was certainly a good shooter, because I lost the roll, and that means I have to take 1 damage, and it's an easy choose. I gotta remove my infantry. I want to save my Grenadiers. However, my general is promoted, even though I lost that battle. Okay, we have our blitzing troops here, and we have an ambush. That's not good. The ambush depletes 1 of my tanks. So there's a total of 2 stars versus my 3 crosses, so I have the advantage again. And I roll a 6, which is hidden down there, so I do take out that Soviet counter. I'm a little bit luckier these games than I was. If you watched my first video of the playthrough, it was horrible. The Soviets were winning every roll. Okay, so we go back now to Soviet infiltration. 2 rolls. Number 8. And number 8 again. So the second one is obviously occupied. Okay, we're gonna go ahead now and let's see what I want to do. I want to move down my infantry down here to that area. And let's see, my tanks are gonna go ahead and move over here. And actually, I think only my first tank will move over there, and then I will bring my half-track into combat to save this depleted guy. And then I'm going to go ahead and spread out my infantry for future Soviet infiltration. Okay, so let's start over here. Again, I have 4 crosses versus 2 stars, so I do have the upper hand in this battle. Luckily there's a tie, and luckily I have a general, so I win the tie and take out the tank. Otherwise I would have been kaput. We have this battle over here, and there's another ambush depleting my half track. So there's no star on the Soviet unit, but there's 2 stars on the shield versus my 3 crosses, so again I do have the advantage. And I managed to roll a 6, so I take him out. Okay, that's it for that turn. We're gonna go to Soviet infiltration. Number 3, and number 3 is occupied. I believe number 3 is yet over there. Second Soviet infiltration. Number 6. Okay, so let's see. I want to go ahead and send these guys over there and these guys over here. And the other guys are gonna go ahead and I think I want to occupy the high star zones first, because you know if during Soviet infiltration they are placed here, you know, it's not gonna hurt as much as if they were placed in a 2-star or 3-star zone. Okay, so they are occupying these areas, but we have 2 combats here to resolve. We start here, and we have a Pepesha with 1 star, 2 stars on the zone, but we have 4 crosses, so again we have the advantage. And again we have a tie, and again we are lucky to have our general, because that means we win the tie. Next area, and again we have a Pepesha. The Pepesha has 1 star, we have 3 crosses, and they have 3 crosses in their zone, so that's 4 stars versus 3 crosses, so they win. So I'm going to go ahead and use an airstrike to get 1 additional die. The additional die didn't help me. I'm going to go ahead and take 1 damage to my tank, and we go to next turn. And roll Soviet infiltration 11 and 5, and 5 is luckily occupied. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and enter. Let's see, we have 3 stars. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and enter this main area on the map, and these guys are staying put here fighting with this guy. Or wait, we have a counter down here now. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and clear that out first before I do any more combat. Okay, so I'm gonna reveal the Soviet counter, which is a Pepesha, 1 star, 1 star in the zone. We have 4 crosses, so we have the advantage. And we take him out. Okay, so then we have this battle here. The Soviets have the advantage. Again, I'm going to go ahead and use an airstrike. So there's going to be 2 dice versus 2 dice. And I win with 2 6s. That's a good... I'm telling you guys, I'm rolling good. Okay, so we have Soviet infiltration again. Number 7. And number 7 is occupied, I believe. Yes, in the middle. So we're good to go. We're going to go ahead and attack this guy now, and let's see what I want to do. I think actually I want to attack him with my strongest unit, so I'm going to go ahead and move up the infantry together with the general, and I'm going to spread out my remaining troops to hopefully not get any Soviet infiltration, and we'll go to next turn. Soviet infiltration number 4. So luckily we don't have to deal with that because we have occupied number 4. So we're gonna go ahead and attack now with 2 grenadiers and a general. And ooh, I see now that, remember there's 2 snipers and there's just 2 Soviet counters left, so there's a 50% chance that's a sniper. But if there is, I win, because that depletes it. Okay, it's an ambush. Unfortunately, it's a T-4 ambush. So we lose 1 of our guys. And that means, let's see, we have 3 crosses, but they have 4. So they have the advantage. I'm going to go ahead and use both of my 2 airstrikes. And hope for the best. Oh, okay, so we have a tie again. And luckily I have the general, so that means I've won. Okay guys, so these are my advanced rules. Maybe they aren't as hard as I think they are. You might want to introduce just, you know, them one at a time, and you might want to skip the option to use airstrikes more than once per turn, because that is a little bit overpowered. But anyway, I think I was a little bit unlucky, or I was on the opposite. I was lucky doing this shoot, because I did try these rules many times, and I had many times failure, and every time I won, it was kind of, you know, really on the edge. So I think I was a little bit too lucky during these two videos, and I was very unlucky in the first one with the standard rules. Anyway, guys, this is Rattenkrieg, Assault on the Tracktor Factory. Very good game, which obviously you can tweak yourself any way you want. I really hope that we get to see something more like this, because I really enjoyed it. And I know there is the, I believe, called Savage Streets, which is based on this game, which I think is a folio or magazine game, which also looks really cool, but I think it's a 2-player with 1-player mode. So I am gonna go ahead and take a look into that game. Anyway, guys, as always, thank you for watching. Please subscribe. See you next time.